Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? Feeling slightly more positive than yesterday. I think yesterday was a bad day, which led to some questionable trading. Not that any of my trades were against my plan or anything, but I think just when you are not feeling good, that discretionary part of you, which gives you the extra edge, I guess, kind of disappears, I feel. This is the trade that I've just been in for about 6 months, and I've just been stopped out in profit on that one. So, you know, it's not a loss, but it's also not that big of a win. So it's not amazing, and it's a bit annoying because we were very, very, very close to my first target, which was these equal highs up here, which we just did not want to come and snatch, apparently, which is great. Now, that being said, that does not mean I am against the idea of longs. I'm very much still bullish on my bias, but it's just a case of trying to figure out, okay, if we're not going to reverse from where I thought we were, which was, what was this that I found? It was maybe this manipulation. Yes, it was. It was this negative 2.5. I saw us play off this and then wanted to get in. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of limiting negative 2.5. Oh, that didn't even play out on, was that even the one? Honestly, could not tell you. I feel like it was, unless that was it. I don't know. Well, if I was gonna limit, my limit probably would have been anywhere between this box, which I usually do in a nice pink color. And so, yeah, my limit would have been there, which longs would have played out nicely for 50 points. So, yeah, but I'm just not keen on limiting negative 2.5 if I'm honest. So I did wait for the pullback. So I entered right there. I entered there on this pullback, stop loss at this low, and I wanted to target these equal highs up here. So this seemed like a great trade. It was all going well until it just turned against me. So I don't really have an explanation as to why that happened, to be honest, but that's okay. I did just want to check financial juice and see whether that wick there is any sort of news, because this is also a good target to have. It's very annoying. It's looking like it just used me as liquidity and now it wants to do what I thought it was going to do, which is always great. So I always love it when that happens. So this wick was at 7 a.m. I don't see anything. I don't think it was anything crazy. I think it was just a random injection of volatility, which, you know, whatever. So now I'm thinking, okay, I need to find what's going on here because I don't really understand. So what I'm seeing is we did reject out this area as I suspected. And this manipulation work. Okay, that also played out. That was probably the one that, yeah, which is nice. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, we literally came back up into OTE of this leg and then rejected. I'm just going to get rid of my initial position because it's kind of confusing me a bit. But yeah, we just retraced up into 0.705, 0.7, and then rejected. So I'm a little confused about why we've done that. I can't really understand why. I can't see any sort of fib that we're rejecting from that explains this behavior from this area for this to be the bottom. And we've also left in relatively cool lows. So I am not expecting us to head to London high from here, which is my final target for the day, London high. I'm not expecting us to go there just now because I can't really explain why this would be the bottom. There's not really any fibs that make sense unless I drop to the 15-second and see if I can find anything. An OTE leg. Yeah, okay, this OTE leg Yeah, I'm just not convinced that that's going to be the bottom. And if it is, then I'm just wrong and I will take that because it makes no sense in my head. Makes 0 sense, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to expect that that is not the bottom. And I'm going to wait for a little bit. This trade here was so nice, so nice and clean, but just didn't do what I wanted it to do, which, you know, it's whatever, Trevor. I mean, we hit -4 on PS to the tick, which I guess is clean from that manipulation leg, which is right there. We didn't actually manipulate on NQ. Okay, I don't know. But to me, this just looks like a consolidation, so I feel like we need a bigger manipulation for distributing, in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking right now. I just feel when we look from, we zoom out a bit, this is just a consolidation. So I feel we need to manipulate below these equal lows, and potentially even this wick, and then go to London high. That's just my opinion. But I don't know. I could be very wrong. I just can't see a reason for us to reject that. I really can't. How's everybody doing anyway? What's everybody's bias on the day? Let's do a poll. Bias. Oops. Well, for the session, but I'm not going to change it because I don't know if I can be bothered. There we go. Let's see what everybody's biases. I took a really sad break even during New York PM session yesterday. Let me see if it's still in my chart. It'll be on my MNQ chart. Oh no, it'll be on my laptop chart. Let me try and understand which one it was. So I saw this. I think it was around here, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly don't know where I took this trade. I really don't. I don't know. I took longs around here somewhere and got break evened, and then it literally just vanished into nothingness. Oh, I think it was around here. Yes, it was around here, I think. But how would I have got break even on this? I honestly don't know. It was somewhere around there, and I got break evened, and it was really sad, and then it just went like this. I've been getting a little unlucky this week. Like, price is just not doing what I want it to do, which is always fantastical. Always fantastical when that happens. Yes, let's pin the Discord. Discord is pinned in the chat, by the way, if you want to come and join my free community. My free community is amazing because tonight, well, not tonight, at 11 a.m. EST, New York time, or 4 p.m. UK time, we are having a doctor of psychology come into the Discord and give a webinar for my Discord community. My Discord community is free, by the way, so tell me what paid community has a doctor of psychology coming in to do a psychology talk. Let me know when you find paid community that does that, and I will apologize. My community is free, and I'll be having doctors come in, so best believe the community is so lit. So yeah, he's coming in to do a talk later on today, which will be so fun. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, so he's a doctor of psychology who specializes in trading psychology, and he's had 17,000 patients which is insane. So I'm going to be asking him a ton of questions. Hopefully he'll give us some good insights. He also has a book, which is really fun. I find that really cool that he has a book. Love that. So yeah, I've got a very busy day, very busy schedule, very busy day. So I think I may only stay on until 9:30 EST until the open. I've not been enjoying trading the open at the moment anyways, so I would rather just trade pre-market, and then I will potentially look at New York Open when this volatility is calmed down a little bit, when all of the news has calmed down a little bit. I've just not been enjoying New York Open at all recently, so I'm just going to be trading up until 9:30 today, and then I'm going to be hopping off because I have too much to do also. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan for today. Is journaling key to profitable? I wouldn't say it's key. I don't think anything is key. I don't think there's ever one thing which is key. I think it's combining everything together. You know, I think that's when you start seeing real consistency, is when you're journaling, is when you're studying charts properly, is when you are really reflecting on your psychology and you're really taking that into account. I think it's when you're combining all of these things together, that's when you start seeing any sort of progress. That's from my experience anyways. We've created more equal highs here. The reason why I'm expecting longs in this session is because I like us trading up to London high. That is what I'm expecting for session. Did we move? Okay, we literally moved 28 handle. We're being super real. Yeah, we basically consolidated both sessions. But yeah, I like the idea of longs to London high. However, I could be wrong. I am going to react rather than predict. But if I had to predict, I would say longs to London high, and then we would reverse in at the open. That is what I would expect right now. Because I'm trading pre-market, I expect us to come up to London high, but be totally wrong. So who knows? We have some -4s lining up. Nice. We did get a bounce at this -2.5, and then we broke through. Also in the midpoint of this area that I marked out anyway. I don't even know why I marked that out now, but I did, so that's nice. How much risk to reward do you target per trade? I base my risk to reward, like, I generally like to target 4 RR, but I don't always do that. I will base it off the fibs projections, so I can't always tell you until some of the trade has played out, because if I'm catching the bottom, right, like let's say I limited here, I would not be able to tell you where my full TP would be until like this move has played out, because then I can like project this fib as a manipulation, and then I can tell you, okay, I have targets up here, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that this low doesn't get broken, but you know, if it does, it's cool. If it does, it's totally cool. I'd like to see a bounce right here, to be honest. I'd love that. That would be really cool and awesome if we could just do a little bounce there. All of my fibs are pointing upwards, and we haven't reached any part of them. So I am bullish right now. If you guys want to join the Discord, it is pinned in the chat. Well, it should be. Might not be. Yeah, it is. It is. I did it. We have a doctor of psychology coming in to do a free webinar for everybody today. He specializes in trading psychology, so if that's something you're struggling with, feel free to join. I am going to be repeating this throughout the stream, so I apologize if you've been here from the start. I'm just really excited about this, and like, I'm not paying him to do this, so I just want to try and get as big an audience for this as possible, because he's kind of doing this out of the kindness of his heart. So, you know, I want to try and get as big an audience as I can for this. A bounce just above negative 2.5. It's not at negative 2.5, so it's not that ideal, but you know, whatever. Whatever, Trevor. Whatever, Trevor. I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. Costa coffee extra hot. Does anybody know Kate King? Has anybody seen her? I feel like no one from the UK will have seen Kate King. No, sorry. I feel like no one who's not from the UK will have seen Kate King, and I feel like it might be more of a girl thing. But she's on TikTok and she's just fucking brilliant. She is brilliant. Is my mic bad, by the way? Because it's really far away from my mouth, but I kind of can't be asked to move it, but I will move it if you think it sounds bad. Are you a full-time trader trying to become one? If it is the second, how are you balancing your transition? I'm not a full-time trader. I'm trying to become a full-time trader. But I guess I work for myself, so it's a different transition than what I had to achieve when I was working a 9 to 5, I think. But when I was working a 9 to 5, I used to trade the PM session, because here in the UK, the 9:30 open is at 2:30 PM, so that's like bang in the middle of my workday. Well, actually, it was an hour before the end of my workday, because I used to work 7 a.m. till 3:30 PM rather than like 9 till 5:30, just because I preferred getting it out the way early so that I could come home and trade the New York PM session, which was cool. So yeah, that's how I used to get around it. I used to, like, literally, if you have a job, you can't trade while you're at your job. Whether your job is chill or not, I just wouldn't recommend it, because it's going to be a stressful environment. It's not the right environment to trade. So if you have a job that means you can't trade the 9:30 open, okay, well, go back test London session. Wake up early so that you can do this. Like, the thing is, like, if you can come up with an excuse, and I'm not having a go at the person who asked me this question, by the way, it's just leading me on to a rant. Like, there's people constantly being like, oh, I work a 9 to 5, I can't trade, like I'll never be able to do it. And I'm like, right, okay, well, why are you not waking up at 3 a.m. to trade the London session? Why are you not staying up later to trade Asia session? Why, like, what is your excuse? There's no excuse. There is a session at every single time of the day. Trade the one where you're not at work, which works for you. Yeah, it means that you're going to have to come home from your 9 to 5 after your boss has had a go at you, and you're going to have to look at charts and get through that. But if you can make it as a full-time trader and you can make full income from just staring at charts for a few hours, that year or so of toughness is going to be so fucking worth it. How's your boy Alan doing? I think Alan's doing great. Alan is just the goat. Hola, Claudia. Hola. Since there's a lot of new traders that come with the wrong expectations into trading, how many hours have you spent on trading yet? I honestly couldn't tell you the exact number or even a ballpark estimate. I have no idea. But to put it into perspective, on FX Replay alone, just on FX Replay, and for the past like 4 months, I haven't even been using FX Replay. I've been using more TradingView Replay just because I use indicators, so it's just easier to do it on TradingView where my indicator is. But so other than the last 4 months where I've probably done more chart study than my whole freaking life because I've been so dedicated to these fibs and trying to master that. So other than those 4 months, I have spent like 150 hours just on FX Replay, just backtesting. And that doesn't include any time I've spent on TradingView, any time I've spent actually like trading real charts. This is just backtesting. I've spent 150 hours, not including the last 4 months as well. And that doesn't include any of the videos I watched to actually learn what a candlestick is, which from the start, like I had to start from scratch. I didn't know shit when I started. I genuinely didn't know anything. I didn't know what a candlestick was. I didn't know what bullish meant. I didn't know what bearish meant. I didn't really know what a stock was. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I say I started from knowing nothing, I literally knew nothing. So I had to learn everything, which will have taken me well over 300 hours. Like I am convinced. I have done over 300 hours of YouTube videos and things like that. Like ICT's 2022 mentorship alone, which I watched that whole shit in 1x speed. I promise you I watched it in 1x speed because I felt guilty for speeding it up. I thought I'd missed something. So I watched that whole thing in 1x speed. And if you actually add up the timings of that shit, like it's a lot of hours. And I re-watched a lot of the episodes because I didn't understand. Like when you're watching ICT for the first time and you've actually never traded, like when I was watching ICT, I'd never like even opened TradingView before. Like maybe once or twice and messed around with it and know nothing. Like genuinely, I knew nothing. So when you're watching ICT for the first time and you have no knowledge, it's so freaking confusing. So I had to rewatch loads of the videos as well. And a lot of the videos in that mentorship are over an hour long. So, and he has like, I don't even know how many, 40, 50 episodes. Some of them are 2 hours. Let me actually go on it right now on YouTube and we can have a look. But that was just those YouTube videos alone. And then I've watched tons and tons of other ones from his like core content, other stuff like that. I've watched a ton of those. I've watched a lot of like Ivan's videos. I've watched a lot of Tanya's videos. I've watched a ton of stuff. Yeah, so there's 41 videos in the ICT mentorship. A lot of them are around the 50-minute mark. There is some short ones, but then there is also some longer ones. Okay, no, they're actually shorter than I thought. There's not many that are over an hour. There is one 2-hour one that I've spotted so far. Actually not as bad as I remember it being. Maybe I was being dramatic. But yeah, there is still like at least 30 hours worth of videos there, and it would take me a lot longer to get through them because I would pause it every 5 seconds and take notes and things. So yeah, I don't even know. I've probably spent over 1,000 hours on charts. I'm not going to lie. Like when you think, even on my streams, I stream 3 days a week and I spend average 2.5 hours on stream. So if I'm doing that 5 days a week, which I will spend around 2 hours on charts every day, if not more, to be honest. So you were saying premium subscription helps in backtesting. I honestly don't know about TradingView subscriptions and what you get in each of them. I'm not even sure which plan I have. I'm fairly sure I do have the premium plan. I have the like one that I pay for it yearly every time they have a huge Black Friday sale, and it's around £200. I have whatever that one is. I wouldn't say TradingView is better for backtesting. I actually do prefer FX Replay, but you just can't get the indicators. You can only get like very minimal indicators on FX Replay, which is why I've been doing it on TradingView Replay recently. But if I actually want to understand whether I know the model or whatever, I will go on FX Replay and I will physically draw out all of the sessions, but it just takes a long time and I don't have that much time anymore. So yeah, I've done my fair share of freaking backtesting, let me tell you that. I don't do a lot of backtesting anymore, to be honest. I more go back into old charts and study them and make observations rather than like testing myself. Because I sometimes feel with backtesting, when you're like testing yourself to see whether you win or lose, it's just not a realistic representation of whether you would have taken the trade in real life, I don't think. Even if it's a random day, I just don't think it's realistic. Like genuinely, my backtesting performance is worse than my live trading performance. Like it genuinely is. And it's because I rush everything. And I like if you get one win, you get that dopamine hit, and then it makes you chase that next dopamine hit, which makes you rush things. So it's just not a real representation, I don't think. Because after one win, like, I won't trade again unless it's on an evaluation or unless it's like an hour later. But with FX replay, it's like you take a win, okay, 5 minutes later you're taking another trade. It's just not a real expectation, because although we all like to say, oh no, like, you don't feel anything when you backtest. It's not true at all. Like, I have got emotional over FX replay so many times. I've cried over FX replay probably more than 5 times, and I'm not even like that much of an emotional person. Oh my gosh, wait, is it an FP tomorrow? Or am I tripping? What the heck? I didn't even know that. I forgot that these things exist because we've not had them in a while. I forget that they're a thing. Damn, okay, interesting. FX Replay has a free plan. So you can use it for free, but the paid plan is a lot better, but you can use it for free. It's just, if you use it for free, I would recommend, if you don't want to pay for a backtesting platform, sign up to FX Replay, get their free plan. I'm fairly sure they still have a free one. And then if you want to take a trade, it only lets you take like 5 trades. So if you want to take like longs, just mark out the longs like this before price has presented itself, and then obviously click forward through it and see whether price goes to your TP rather than actually placing the trades, because it only lets you do 4, and then it like you off. Almost at 7k subs. That's crazy. I know, I'm literally like, what the heck? So crazy. Thank you guys so much. Like, if you're here and you're new and you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel, because we're so close to 7,000 subscribers. I do giveaways here every single week, and it's free to enter, and I live trade for free. Not many people are live trading for free anymore, let me tell you. Obviously we got Tanya and Lumi, but not many people live trade for free. Usually what people do, and I promise you I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to ruffle you like everyone else. What people do is, especially good traders, which, like, it's so fair enough, it's a good business model, I appreciate it, but I'm telling you that I'm not going to do this. So if I do this, you can hold me accountable. What they do is they will live stream on YouTube for a few weeks. They will get viewers. They'll obviously win trades on live stream, so everybody's interested and engaged. And then they will say, yeah, I'm not doing it for free anymore, pay for my Discord, and then you can watch me in there. That's what everybody does. So it's a business model. But for me, this is just like for chilling, like for vibes. So you should definitely subscribe, because I'm not going to throw a paid Discord link in your face. I'm going to throw a Discord link in your face, but it's a free Discord, and we have a Doctor of Psychology coming in today, and I'm going to repeat that every like 5 minutes throughout the stream. So I apologize, but I just think it's really cool. Yeah. We have a Doctor of Psychology coming into the Discord to do a talk today at 11 a.m. EST or 4 p.m. UK time. He specializes in trading psychology. He's had 17,000 patients. People will be able to ask him questions. He'll be able to go over like relevant topics. He'll obviously talk about his main talking points, things like that. So yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be quite an intimate session, because I don't often do sessions in my Discord as such. I will just like talk in the chat and send in trades. There's not going to be that many people who show up for the session, to be honest. Like, it's not like my community is not the same as a paid community, because in paid communities you generally have like weekly calls and all that thing, so it keeps people more engaged. But because I don't do that, because I stream on YouTube, there's not going to be that many people who show up. So it's definitely worth doing it, because it'll be quite an intimate session with a trading psychologist, literally for free. So it's definitely worth it. The Discord is linked in the chat if you want to come and join us today. Yes, I am going to be recording it. Yeah, I have taken a trade today. I took longs here, but unfortunately got stopped in profit. I'm still looking for longs, but yeah, it played out really nicely. I wanted to take most of my profit off at these equal highs, and then take another off at negative 2.5, and then I would potentially hold a runner up to London high, but yeah, I just didn't want to play out yet. You know, it is what it is. So I'm just waiting right now. We just look like we're consolidating, so I'd like to see a break to the downside before taking anything. BBH. Let's put a little link on the story so that people join up the live stream. Forgot to do that yesterday, and I did actually notice a difference. Let's do share. Oh my gosh, guys, we are, how many are we? We're 70 subscribers away from 7K. How exciting is that? We're so close to 7K. Honestly, I know that I'm talking in faraway terms because we're not near 10K yet, but the rate we've been growing, we're going to be hitting 10K way sooner than I ever could have imagined. And oh my gosh, like, I feel like 10K subscribers is like the equivalent of 100,000 Instagram followers. Like, maybe I'm just being delusional, but I feel like 10K YouTube subscribers is so mad. You know what I mean? Yes, FX Replay does have NQ and ES futures. It has all futures that you would want, really. Okay. Let's post a little story. Guys, I'm thinking of starting live trading on Kick as well as YouTube and doing it simultaneously. What's your thoughts on that? I've never used Kick before, so it's going to be something new. But, you know, I kind of fancy it. I think there might be an audience there. I don't think any girls stream on Kick, so it might be like a good niche for me. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? News in 25 minutes. There's only orange folder news, so I'm not too worried about that. Do you think price will take Asia lows before going back up? Honestly, right now it's hard to tell, but based on the fibs that I've got, I don't think so. Nothing's lining up with Asia low whatsoever. The only thing that lines up is this manipulation with this -4 resting below. But I wouldn't be able to understand whether we're going to go there until we come down to like here. What I would prefer to see is I would prefer to see a break of structure, reject from these -4s that we've put in, and then head to London high and then reverse to Asia low during New York Open. But I am not going to be trading the Open today. I'm not going to be trading after 9:30 because I'm too busy. I'm too busy to be looking at charts for that long, especially when I've been in this trade for bloody ages already today. This one, I was in this trade from 6:20 until 7:30, over an hour to just get stopped in profit. I only made like $90 on my fundeds, which is so sad. So super sad, but whatever. Opinions on 2022 ICT mentorship. I honestly think that the ICT 2022 mentorship is very good for beginners, but I don't personally think that you can just watch the ICT 2022 mentorship and know enough to like get into the swing of your own strategy. I think unless the 2022 mentorship suits you like so well to a T, I think unless that's the case, I think you need to watch more things and learn more concepts to actually find something that really suits you. That's what I would say. And I don't really think in the 2022 mentorship he teaches bias to the extent that will help you understand the intraday bias, which is generally more important if you trade in a similar style to me and ICT, where executions are on the 1 minute chart. Like realistically, even if today, let's say the chart didn't look how it looked, but let's say today we're really freaking bearish, I would not care what the whole daily candle is going to look like, really. Like, it can help you to some extent. But I don't really care if today is going to dump. Like, if I've caught my piece of the pie where we need to take out these equal highs to then dump, like, then I don't care, you know? Like, I personally use intraday bias, what is going to happen in pre-market session now that we've created London high, London low, Asia high, Asia low, like what are we going to do now? That's what I'm more bothered about than daily bias. And he goes more into daily bias, which is helpful if you're trading on like the 1 hour chart, but not that helpful if you're trading on the 1 minute chart. Obviously understanding the daily profile can help in a sense, because if we're bearish, we're going to open high, close low, so you can trade within that, but I don't think it's that helpful. Claudia, change your live thumbnail. You will hit 10K fast. Love from India. I actually had a new one made today. I'm going to open it up. I want to open up my WhatsApp, but how do I get that to like open in not the screen? Hold on. Let me just do this for a sec. There we go. Now I can just open WhatsApp quick and move it to the other, my other screen. Okay, cool. So he made this one, which I think is cool. What do you guys think of that? Is that better than my current one? I feel like that's a lot cleaner, but let me know what you think. ES is a lot stronger than NQ right now. To be honest with you. Throw out this fib. Okay, we did actually reject off negative 2.5. Maybe we could expect a rejection from that area. I need to put my lo-fi music on. Let me do that right now. Put my lo-fi music on. Oh, how lovely is that? Turn it down slightly. How's that? Is that too loud? Oh no. I feel like it's slightly too loud. Is that better? 12 hours of copyright-free music. God love it. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet, and I will sort it out. Too loud? Still too loud? Alan will tell me. A bit lower, okay. A bit lower. How's that? Is that any better? I can't even hear that shit. Maybe I turn it down in OBS rather than... Hold on, I know it's loud. How's that now? Is that still bad? That's a bit loud for me. Is this good or is this too loud? You guys all said it's fine and then I messed with it again, but it's because I wanted it louder for myself. This is too low. Oh, fuck. Fuck, dude. How about this? Surely this is good. No? Is this better? No? I love this. This is great. Perfect. Awesome. Look at that, guys. God damn, I might be the GOAT. WDJ, I know. DJ, day trader, social media person. Could you please be quiet for a moment so we can listen to the music? Right, actually really not nice. Doo-doo. Claudia, are you profitable or still no? Like, the thing with the term profitable is I don't know how you define profitable. I'm net positive in terms of money from trading, but I wouldn't call myself profitable. Like, in my first payout, I made more than I've ever spent on evals. So like technically net positive, but yeah. The name of the music is 12 hours of copyright free background music. Lo-fi something. It'll come up, it's like one of the first ones. What are we doing? Why did we come down and stop me out? Like, what was the fucking reason for that? I don't understand. I feel like ES makes more sense today. Like, this makes sense. This makes sense. Everything's playing out, but on NQ, just nothing's playing out. So, oh my god, guys, we have 167 viewers. 167. When will you consider yourself profitable? Any time frame in your head? I don't have a time frame because I don't like putting a time on my goals, because I know that I will achieve every single goal that I want to achieve when the timing is right and when everything is aligned and when I'm meant to and when I'm deserving of that achievement, if that makes sense. Like, I was chill to some extent. Obviously, I really wanted my first payout, but I was chill to some extent about not having it and it taking me a while, because I knew that I would get that first payout when I truly deserve it and when it aligns with everything else in my life. And this was so true. Like, if I had got my first payout before learning fibs, I would have trusted that old strategy that I was trading and ran with that, and I would not see anywhere near as much success as I do with fibs. Because the thing with fibs, obviously I've only had one payout. I've been trading with them for like 2 months, but I just understand the market way, way, way better than I ever have using fibs. And I would have never discovered those and kind of ran with those if I had had my first payout before discovering them. So I know that everything is aligned so that everything makes sense for my long-term goals. So I never put a time frame on goals because I understand that they will happen when they're meant to happen. But I feel like I can officially call myself a profitable trader when I've had, like, I don't even know. I honestly don't know. I don't feel like the amount matters. I feel like it's more number of payouts, I think. I think after I've had maybe 5 payouts, I think then you can say, okay, like, I'm consistently profitable, as long as it's not over like a super long time frame, I guess. I don't know. This is not a fib indicator. This is just my own fibs that I have drawn out using this fib tool, as you can see. A lot of you guys have been asking me for an indicator, which is interesting. Wow, guys, look at this -4 playing out literally to the tick. That's insane. So I have 2 funded rotations. So I have 5 funded accounts in total. It would be 6 if Alpha Trader had come out yet, but I have 1 funded account, which is with Alpha Trader, because I moved it from Alpha Tix, which is like when Alpha was partnering with Project X or Top Step X. So then I moved that to Alpha Trader, but because Alpha Trader isn't out yet, I've not been able to trade that in like months, which is so sad. So yeah, it's a little annoying, but so I have 5 funded. I have 2 that I trade like firstly, and then I trade the other 3 like if I see another setup. Do I use the Ivan indicator? On the odd occasion, but not very often. Sometimes it throws me off more than helps. But I guess this kind of works because this lines up with London low here and this fib. So I guess it would have been nice to use it here if I was going to take that, but other than that, there's not really any levels right now. So I most of the time have it off because I feel like it throws me off. When do I start trading? When it doesn't look like this. You have already read Trading in Zone by Mark Douglas. Now I will suggest you to watch Tom. Oh god. How do you say his last name? I've always been meaning to figure that out. Video on psychology. Just search Trading Psychology. Why Normal Doesn't Make Money. Yeah, I want to read his book also. I've been meaning to do that, but I just have so many books that I've been meaning to read, and I just... yeah, it's a lot. So I've been having a break from like non-fiction books for like maybe a month just to read fiction books, because I love reading fiction, but I feel that I can't read 2 books at once because it overstimulates me so bad. So yeah, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought then. Yeah, so I wanted to take like a month break from reading non-fiction books because I read like the 5 AM Club. I read one before that. I read The Disciplined Trader. And then I read like another like non-fiction self-development type book, and I was just like getting bored of that type of thing. So I'm taking a month off to read fiction because I love reading fiction. As I said, can't read 2 books at once, it overstimulates me, so I have to either read a fiction book or a non-fiction book. I can't read them both. It just won't happen. I'll end up binning one off, and it's usually the non-fiction book because it's more boring than the fiction book, so yeah. You talk too much. I'm going out. You can relax and speak more quietly. Dude. Why would I just sit here for 2.5 hours and not talk? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why, but this week I feel really bad at trading, and the previous weeks I was super good. I did send videos on Discord to you last week and you saw the trade. Is there a reason for it, or is it PA? Last week I didn't trade, so I can't really comment on the PA. Like, I did look back through and it didn't look amazing to me. Like, I didn't really like the look of it. This week I haven't done well so far. I've had 2 break-evens. Okay, I was technically stopped in profit on that last trade, but not by much. So I've had like 2 break-evens, 2 losses so far. I've not had like a full win yet. I was stopped in profit last night as well on a trade that I took in New York PM session. So I've not had the best week, but I'm also like in 2 minds about whether that is to do with the fact that I've just had my first payout. I did expect my trading to not be on top form after that, because it, like, a payout brings other psychology issues which you haven't experienced before, which I then need to overcome, because like money's never been involved in trading for me yet. Like, I've only ever had to spend it, I've never actually made it. So I feel like that brings more psychology issues. Obviously it puts a part of my mind at rest, because I'm like, okay, this is actually all worth it. I've seen that first bit of money from this, like I can do this. So it's like good motivation, but it also brings like greed and ego aspects in as well. So I would always say, if anybody asked me like, am I doing badly this week or is it PA? I would always say that even if it is PA, you can get better at recognizing bad PA so that you don't trade. No one's forcing you to trade bad PA, you know? So you can't blame the price action, whether the price action is good or bad. You have to blame yourself for trading the bad price action, you know? Like, always take accountability for your losses, whether it's good or bad price action. You can't just say, oh, I took this loss because it was bad price action, because, okay, do you think Jade Cap, the guy who's had millions and millions of dollars in prop firm payouts, is writing in his journal, oh, like, I lost this trade today because it's bad PA? There's no way he's writing that. You know, he's learning how to avoid bad price action. Were you trading personal capital before, or you started with props from the beginning? I started from prop firms in the beginning, and I think prop firms are the best for beginners. It's way less pressure on your mind to risk $50 than it is to risk 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of your own capital that you've had to earn, you know? Would you create a guide on how you use fibs? I think the thing for me about creating guides and creating things for people is, obviously I know that it would be useful and I completely understand that, but obviously I have to think in terms of a business mindset. I would never want to sell anyone a PDF or a course or anything like that. I would never do that, no matter where I'm at in my trading journey, whether I've had 1 payout or 10,000 payouts. I just wouldn't sell anything like that. But also the things that I do to help people, I would also like those to some extent be mutually beneficial, which me creating a PDF which is actually useful for people and guides them through things is time consuming. And like, I work for myself. I'm not funding my life right now off trading whatsoever. Like, I've only had 1 payout, so I have to work for myself and make my own money, as well as try and master trading and get better at that, as well as post on socials and stuff. And I'm trying to build a business. So all of those things combined leave me with not a lot of time. So if I am spending time helping people, which I love doing, like, I want everybody to succeed as much as I want myself to succeed, which is why, like, I'm happy to live stream my trades and why I'm happy to do the Monday study sessions, because it also benefits me in some way as well, because obviously, like, I'm gaining traction from doing that. Like, people are viewing and then subscribing, so it helps me in some way. But I feel me spending hours and hours, because it would take me hours and hours to make some sort of file that is actually helpful and comprehensive for someone to read and actually apply. Like, I don't gain anything from just giving that out. And not that everything is about gain, but my plan in the future is my plan for right now is to really work on myself and be as selfish as I can, to be honest. And everybody should be selfish at this stage. Like, I'm going to be charitable and philanthropic when I have the money to do so. And to gain the money to do that, I have to be selfish. You know, the richest people in the world were selfish. They didn't let anybody stop them reaching their goals. They didn't consider, oh, they might be upset if I say no to going to their dinner. They didn't do that. They were selfish. They put themselves first. And that's what I'm trying to do now, until I'm in a position where, okay, I have tons of free time to help people. I can help people now, but I'm not personally in that position yet. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah. This is so super duper slow right now. I just want to see it do something. Like, it's just not doing anything, I don't think. Just sideways, especially NQ. ES looks slightly more bullish, but NQ is just sideways right now. Oh, okay, let's just log out of trade a bit then, shall we? Great. Sure, why not? The heck? Dude, what are you talking about? Okay, let's trade on this tab instead, why not? Sure. Sure, why not? So basically, I should take accountability and realize that it's me making mistakes and not PA. If I may ask, when you started with the fibs, did you wait till price hits your levels? Okay, so I'm not saying that price action is never bad. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying if you took a loss and you think the reason you took the loss is because of bad price action, you should still take accountability and say, I shouldn't have traded because this, and this told me that price action was bad. So there's a lower probability of my trade hitting, you know? So you're holding yourself accountable and you're saying, I shouldn't have traded the bad price action, but you're also recognizing this is bad price action. I hope that makes sense. When you started with the fibs, did you wait till price hits your levels? I'm confused what you mean by that. Or did you try to draw a fib of -2 to 4 with where the current price? Oh, I think I see what you mean. Okay, so the best way to draw fibs, right, is to use fibs alongside higher time frame context. And by higher time frame context, I don't mean that you have to go on the 1 hour chart and look. I actually feel it's easier to look at the higher time frame context on the 5-minute chart. So I can see from this chart, okay, Asia session, we opened at this price and we closed at this price. We literally moved 18 points in the whole session. So to me, this is a consolidation. I'm writing down what happened in each session. This session consolidated. We swept out Asia high. My only 5 targets that I ever consider trading towards, or 2, like I'll either take 4R towards it or I will take my trade to it, you know? Is London high, London low, Asia high, Asia low, and true day open. I consider these 5 targets in pre-market and that is literally it. Now I'm looking at London session. Okay, so we've swept out Asia high, so that's that target gone. I don't need to think about that anymore. And we've opened at this price right here, and we've closed at that price. Again, we've consolidated. We've moved like 20 points, if not less. We've got consolidation and consolidation. So when we have consolidation and consolidation, I'm expecting a seek and destroy. So I'm expecting sweeper high, sweeper low, sweeper high, sweeper low, right? So you can kind of see this pattern starting to form somewhat. So we've got sweeper low, we swept out this low. Okay, sweep out the high, swept out those highs. Sweep the low, swept out those lows. Sweep the high. Okay, now we swept out Asia high. Sweep these lows, swept the low. Sweep these highs. Sweep the lows. Still sweeping the lows. We swept out London low. So now I'm expecting us to sweep the high. And this is your like typical seek and destroy day. And once we've swept out the high, because we're in New York AM session and the volatility is so high, I am expecting this. Now, that's not to say that that is definitely going to play out. It might not play out, but that's what I'm expecting. So I'm going to trade in line with that bias. So until we've taken London high, I'm going to be bullish. And then I would be bearish. On the days you're wrong, okay, so what I'm wrong, you can still catch moves that are on side. Even if we don't go all the way to London high, we may want to come up and take out these equal highs before going, you know, and I'm on side. So even when you're wrong, you can still get on side with the moves, and then you can start lining fibs up with your idea. So because I'm bullish and because I think that we're going up to here, I'm going to draw out fibs which make sense up there. So you can start lining those up with targets. So the reason why I had this fib drawn out and why it actually did play out, you can see this negative 2.5 here play out, is because I wanted to find a fib that lines up with true day open, which is right below London low. And I have a negative 2.5 lining up with true day open and London low. And you can see that this did play out, and this is the low so far of the session. You're in longs. Nice. That's awesome. I wish I was still in the longs, but I did get stopped the folk out in profit, unfortunately. This low is honestly held here. We can get above this -4 here, which is like the only place that I really can see why we would go lower, which we've held so far. But if we break through this, then I'm probably going to try and find a long setup, because that will tell me, no, this fib is not playing out. This isn't the top. Don't worry about it. Oh, damn. Did I draw that wrong? Oh, no. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Happy Thursday, chat. What's your thoughts on volume profile and order flow? I don't really have an opinion on them because I've never used them before, but I know people who are successful with them. Only if I realized that selfish earlier in life. Yeah. What's your opinion on TradeC? I've used it a couple of times for an eval. I don't have any bad things to say about it. I think it's pretty good. I think the fill's pretty good. I don't have a bad thing to say. I just prefer Tradeovate because it's easier to copy trade when everything is on the same platform. But it's not really a problem with TradeSync, to be honest. Like, I can copy trade my Tradeovate accounts and a TradeC account that I have. I have an eval with TradeC, so I can copy trade them pretty easily through TradeSyncer in the same group. So it's not really a problem. But when I used to not have a copy trader, it was easier to just trade with Tradeovate and have everything aligned. And I do think it's slightly easier to have everything on Tradeovate because I always do my chart analysis on TradingView. But, you know, it's no issue me doing my chart analysis and then quickly adding a limit order on TradeC, you know? Especially when I can copy trade through TradeSyncer, that's the main thing, because then I can still do my analysis on TradingView, place my orders on TradingView, but still get that trade through to TradeC. But I guess it doesn't matter as much if I'm executing on here and then copy trading, because that kind of defeats the point of the good fills, but, you know. Do you trade gold at all? I don't really trade gold, to be honest. I only trade NQ and ES, but honestly, I've heard a lot of people say that when NQ is not moving very nicely, gold does move nicely, so I'm pretty tempted to look at it, but that's something I need to do in my own time and probably not on a live stream. Someone told me blonde girls could not trade. Right. It makes more sense now. Good, I'm glad. I am glad. We honestly could just chop till 9:30, which would be pretty sad, but I'm just not trading the open at the moment. I'll probably come back for New York PM session later and see if I can take anything. Even lunch session has been looking pretty nice at the moment, to be fair. Guys, that guy who was on the stream before and then left because he says I talk too much, he literally felt the need to DM me and say, please speak calmly when you are speaking on live stream. You speak well and I admire your thinking, but I don't know if following you is a good idea or not bad. Well, I think following me is a bad idea because I'm gonna, yeah, like, I'm gonna not like you because you say bullshit. What's up, Claudia? Any good trades last night or this morning? I had a good trade idea last night, but unfortunately, I got break-evened on it. I tried to long in New York PM session around this area, and I got break-evened, and then we just ran, like, I don't even know how many points. Over 100 points into the close, which was sad. But, you know, you can't catch them all. I need to delete these now. I'm playing that shit. Oh, I would like to keep the indicator, to be honest. There we go. Right, we seem to be rejecting off this negative 2.5, so even though we have broke through this negative 4, I want to see us break through this high if I was going to take some sort of longs. Ideally this fib shouldn't play out because I'm expecting us to come to London high, so really it should be like not even that fib, it should be like this fib which is playing. So ideally we will break through, but who knows. I would like to see if there's a 5-minute fib anywhere that looks kind of clean. This manipulation fib looks kind of nice. Yeah, that looks okay. Just want to delete some of these real quick. I don't really like the fact how we've accumulated and we're almost manipulating, so kind of makes sense for the distribution to be lower, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of looks like we accumulated, manipulated, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the 5-minute chart right now, but we do have equal highs right here. So that gives me some sort of hope, I guess. That 5-minute manipulation is clean. So is this one. I'll have that one on there as well. Yeah, that gives some okay targets, I guess. I don't know. Ideally shouldn't play out, to be honest. This 2.5. Wait, what was that 2.5 I had? Oh, it was this one. Yeah, this ideally shouldn't play out, but I don't know. We still are technically in an accumulation. So if we wanted to manipulate now and then distribute, I think that would still be clean, but that would probably take me into the New York Open, which I really didn't want to trade today, so yeah. That's interesting. Okay, that didn't hold. So, okay, queen. I'm a little interested in some longs here, I think. A little interested. A little bit interested. Yeah, we did break through. Oh no, we didn't. I'd like for us to break first. Come on, ES. A little more. I want us to break that high on ES to give me extra confirmation. Come on. Really? Really? We're being so for real. I really just want it to break above this. I wouldn't be interested in getting in on the retracement unless ES breaks that high to kind of tell me, no, I'm not respecting this 2.5 rejection. Dude. Dang, we already retraced to 0.5, so I'm gonna have to wait for the next leg, I think. Which is kind of sad. I'm gonna just put NQ back on here because I'm not ready to take my entry yet after seeing that. I'll have that there just so I can understand. I just think there's a lot of low resistance sell side built up. We're also trading back into OTE of the London range, which is kind of making me think, the higher time frame chart just looks horrible, to be honest. Like, look at this 5 minute, like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what to think right now. Like, tempted to flip bias just from looking at this 5 minute. Like, that does not look like it wants to go higher at all, if I'm being honest. Like, what I would have liked to see is this accumulate us manipulate below these lows and then head higher, but we haven't done that. We're manipulating when we're accumulating and manipulating higher up into OTE of that whole imbalance range, which makes me think, oh damn, did we actually rebalance that? I think we missed it by like 1 tick. Oh no, we did. I thought we missed it. Yeah, we did miss it by like 1 tick. I knew it. Oh, wait. Yeah, we did. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew we missed 0.5 by like a tick. I remember seeing that this morning and being like, what the heck? So ES is already rebalancing. 0.618. I don't think NQ is going to leave those though. I would be surprised if we left those little highs there. We just do have a lot of equal highs left. I liked the idea of longs until now, and now I'm just like, not really. Not really. You also have these relative equal lows. You have a ton of relative equal lows. If I could find a fib that lined up with 0.5, I feel that would be nice. I mean, we have this 3, but I don't really like -3. Much prefer -2.5. We have a -2.5 right here. I think this is tough. I'm just gonna sit. I'm not trying to predict. I'm just gonna react from what's happening. I think when you're having to sit and actually spend more than like 2 minutes understanding what's going on, then I think it probably means you don't know and you should wait. So that's what I'm gonna do. Which language am I talking? The same language in which you typed that message. It looks like a consolidation to me. Okay, 850 macro. Join the stream to instant rage pay. Yeah, that's a common theme around here, unfortunately. You know people who like come on the internet and rage bait like for an actual hobby? I wonder like if they're okay. Because like I could never ever imagine myself, no matter how bored I was, actually thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna go on the internet and like piss people off today. Like, what state of mind do you have to be in for that? Like, I'm not even saying that like they're probably not even like, no, like I just can't comprehend it. This shit is just not clean at all. We're just chopping back and forth. We've been in the same freaking range from here to here for literally getting on for 5 hours. Like, that's insane. Have I done that math right? Yeah, from 4:20 till 8:50. So 4.5 hours we've been in the same range. Crazy. That tells me that New York AM is going to be super volatile, so I'll probably wait till lunch or New York PM to trade. Nothing presents before 9:30, which I'm starting to lose hope, I'm not gonna lie. I'm up $100 across 2 funded accounts. Tiny wins, small base hits. Do I watch German 40 for SMT? I don't. I don't use SMT a lot in my model. I like it as an extra confirmation, but I don't use it as part of an entry criteria or anything. Seem to be holding that negative 2.5 so far. So what I would hope is that we manipulate down. What's this line I drew? Oh, this is nice. They line up together. Maybe down to there and then distribute. I think that could be nice. I just don't like how we've left these. I would honestly look for a short position from here if we hadn't left equal highs here on ES and then here on NQ. Even though we may come and swipe them later, it just goes against my rules to short when we have equal highs in such close proximity. I sound so South African, really. I've literally never been told that. That's interesting. I think that's a compliment. I think South African accent is really nice. How many subscribers are we on? I'm so close to 7K. I'm so excited. Let's see. Oh, guys, we're 40 subscribers away from 7,000 subscribers. Please drop. Please click the subscribe button if you're new here and you're not already subscribed. It really helps me out, and I'm a small channel trying to build, so invest early. I won't switch up on my day ones, I promise. We have that manipulation, and then we also have this OTE work. It'd be nice if we dropped from here and then rejected from one of these and then displaced higher. But I would only be looking for longs here. I would have looked for shorts from this exact point if we had wicked out these equal highs. But maybe we're leaving those for later. Who knows? Who knows, eh? Who knows? Guys, do you see this? Look where I got stopped out of my trade. Literally got stop break even there, and then it just went, and we still haven't taken the equal highs. I would have been in this trade still, and I would have been pissed. So I'm kind of happy I was stopped out, but it's kind of sad. This is how little we have been doing. We haven't moved up 60 points since 6 a.m. No, this is still accumulation for sure. I'm not trading this. I'm waiting for us to drop and sweep out some lows and then hopefully distribute higher is what I would expect. But I don't think I'm going to end up getting into the move up because I have to go at 9:30. I have shit to do, so I may come back at New York PM and have a look later. Why didn't you take partials? It wasn't a part of my plan to take partials there. Like, in my head, there was no indication to take partials at that point because we came up. My first target was here, which is these equal lows. So I had trailed my stop into profit. So I still made money on the trade, but rather than taking a partial, I trailed my stop because I really expected us to come and take this, especially because we generated even more relative equal highs in the middle of the trade. Like, I did not expect this to come and stop me out at all. So, you know. Oops. Maybe we will come sweep the highs. Who knows? I've been short since 350. Damn. Damn, you've been holding this shit for ages. That's crazy. I think if I had shorted in this area, I probably would have taken profit at London low. But that's just my decision. To be honest. I prefer the idea of us going lower right now than going up to London high. So, but I might not be correct. Damn, look at that candle. That's what I want to see. A bit of movement. Wow, we got 20-point candles. Let's go. Don't you dare wick up right now. I'm not dealing with your wicks. I'm bearish for today. What about you? I'm kind of 50-50 right now. I'm reacting, but for right now, I'm hoping for us to come and sweep out all of these lows and then go higher. I'm just not getting in on the downwards move because we have relative equal highs. Been such a boring pre-market, honestly. Super boring. Not a lot going on. How have you got on this week? It's honestly not been, like, it's not been awful, but it's not been great either so far. I got stopped in profit. Well, I took a loss yesterday on stream and then took a trade in New York PM session, got stopped in profit. So I recovered like half of my loss, which was pretty nice. But yeah, it literally stopped me out in profit and then ran to my TP, which was sad, but it was what it was. And then this morning I've got stopped in profit, and then Monday I took a loss, Tuesday I got break even. So it's not been the most amazing week, but not been shocking either. It's just been kind of slow, I guess. Hello. Watching your lower time frame charts is so different to what I'm used to. I trade on the 1 hour. Yeah, I could not trade the 1 hour. I don't know why. It's just not my favorite. I love entering on the 1 minute. I think it's just because it's what I'm used to. I've always traded on the 1 minute. Well, I've always taken entries on the 1 minute. Look at this 5 minute. God damn. No way I'm gonna send that to Ivan. That's awesome. Who the fuck is Cayman though? He seems sick. Yeah, Cayman is insane. He's cool. I've spoken to him a few times. He seems really, really nice. He's doing insane. Trading on the higher time frame needs a lot of patience. Yeah, it does for sure. If I had to describe my system pretty simply, it's just using fib projections to predict where price is going to trade to and where it potentially may reverse. So I'll either use fib projections as entries or targets. Yeah, I've taken one trade today, got stopped in profit, unfortunately. It was this trade right here. Just ended up trading in chop. It didn't look like I was trading in chop until I entered, and then it's literally just been chopping ever since, so yeah. I think they're kind of similar, Owen. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the most knowledgeable person about cars, but the reason why I initially had a Macan in mind is because you can get, I'm pretty sure they're all electric, and having an electric car is way better for like tax write-offs, but I've kind of decided against it now, having an electric car. Like, I never even wanted an electric car, but it's just way better for tax write-off. But I don't know, I think if I'm gonna have a fun car, I will just not think about money. Okay, this seems to be doing what I hoped it was gonna do, which is nice. I would love to take shorts here. Like, I'm pretty confident shorts are gonna play out, but it just goes against my rules taking shorts right here, which is sad. Do you have anyone who's going to help you with tax when you get more consistent? I need to keep that at a minimum. I'm clueless. So yeah, so I already have my own business, so I have an accountant and he specializes in trading too, which is pretty sick, and it's why I went with him in the first place, so that I would be prepared for when I'm actually making money. So yeah. Do you know when you have to declare it by? I made 3K in March. I don't know how long I have. I'm in the UK, so it should be similar to you. So, do you work full time? Because there's basically a tax-free threshold. So you only have to pay tax if you earn above that threshold. So I don't know whether you're like in college or you're working or what. So if you only made 3K, like you won't have to pay tax on it. You'll be all good. But if you made obviously more than that from like other jobs and stuff, you'll have to pay tax. So the way it worked when I was working full time still, but I was making money on the side, was they basically calculated how much money I'd earned from a salary and then how much money I made from my business, and then they kind of I actually don't freaking know, but you have a long time. Like I have until January to pay my tax from the last tax year. So this will be from April 2025 to April 2026. The tax that I have to pay from that year, I don't have to pay until January. So you have a decent amount of time. I was hoping this was going to drop a bit faster than it is doing, to be honest. I really wanted to try and get in on the longs, but we're getting close to 9:30, but one of my meetings has been cancelled, so I'll be able to stay on a little bit longer, so maybe we can catch that. I don't know. I'm going to see how the open acts and if it's crazy, which it could be, because usually when the session chops like this, New York AM can be crazy, so I'm hoping that that's not the case. And we can try and still catch the longs, but if it just looks crazy off the bat, I'll probably just call it a day and maybe come back at lunch session or New York PM. Yeah, I haven't found many good trades this week, to be honest. I don't really have an opinion on order flow. Why am I in Dow Jones right now? Didn't even know I was on that. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on order flow. I've never tried it. I know people who are profitable with it, so yeah. You can be profitable with so many different strategies. You just have to find one which suits you and that you like the most, you know? This price action is so slow. We're either gonna get the most A+ clean setup at 9:30 ever, or it's just gonna like go crazy and have 100-point candles and literally no in between. Guys, I've been working on my business like non-stop, and like the launch is actually gonna be way sooner than I thought it was, which is so freaking exciting. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. From India, new subscriber. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm super excited to launch it. I feel like everybody is gonna really like the product. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not selling a course or any of that bullshit, and I've not made an AI journal or any of that shit. I promise I've not done that. I promise you, I promise I haven't done that. I'm not going to tell you what the new business is yet, because I haven't announced anything. But yeah, it should be launching pretty soon. I don't have a specific launch date yet. I'm trying to get some samples and all that jazz sorted. I don't want to say too much, so don't ask me questions, because I would love to tell you guys, but I want to keep it to myself for now until I have everything sorted, you know? Because I do feel like it's a pretty good idea that I wouldn't want people to steal, so, you know. I actually think it'll be really helpful for people, like a genuinely helpful product rather than just some AI bullshit that someone's brought out to try and make a quick buck, you know? Alan, I have to tell you about this. There's been a slight change, so I have to tell you. In fact, I may have told you some of it. I don't know. I know I told you about one part, but there's been a slight change to that, so I'm gonna have to update you after this. But yeah, I've been working so fucking hard on it. On the website at the moment. You guys are getting all the behind the scenes. I've been trying to document the process as much as possible so that I can look back on it and so that I can also post it, because I feel like it's pretty useful. Like, a lot of people who are into day trading would also be interested in building a business and like what it involves and stuff. So I thought it'd be interesting to document some of the process as well. So that's what I've been doing, which will be nice. I'm really excited to launch that. I've been working on the website non-stop. It's looking really, really nice. I don't live in Turkey, I live in the UK. What is this shit doing? This shit is waiting for 9:30. It's like really waiting for 9:30. We're in the UK, from the northwest. I don't want to say the exact place because people are fucking weird, but you're a profitable day trader, ma'am. I'm net positive, but I don't think I can call myself profitable until I've had a few more payouts. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated on that one. What is this doing? Why is it doing this? I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. I really don't. I expected this to continue lower all the way down to like here and then turn around. You thought I sounded northern? I love that. I hate it when people say, oh my gosh, I thought you were southern. Like, that actually offends me. No offense if you're from the south of the UK, but like, our accents are so different, so I get really offended when people say that. We have no top wick on the hourly. You're right, for real, you're right. That's so weird. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, we're back anyway. Can you briefly explain the best psychology / mindset shift that have made you like, this is it? I would say the main thing that really like flipped a switch in my brain was that the more time you spend on the charts is not directly proportional to how successful you are at trading. And that really like did something for me. I think everybody has a different journey with trading and different struggles just based on how you are as a person and your upbringing, and literally just every personality trait means that people experience different struggles. The main struggle for me was comprehending the fact that I could work 10 times as hard as someone else and they could still be a better trader than me. And this is the shit that bothers me, because like I am such a hardworking person, and in school like I would always like get good grades and stuff. And then you do trading and you find that someone who is trying way less hard than you and is putting in way less hours is succeeding more and getting more payouts. So it's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah, less is 100% more. 100%. Hello, Cayman. Is that Cayman? If so, someone was just talking about you. Speak of the devil. I don't recognize your picture there. I'm trying to figure it out. It's really far away and I'm quite blind though. How long have I been trading? Like a year. I've been trading prop firms. I took my first prop firm challenge about like just over a year ago. But the difference is, for me, I feel like I'm not a fair comparison of how long it can take you to become profitable, because I have posted the whole thing on social media. So I think that's either like given me an advantage or disadvantage, and I honestly couldn't tell you which, because obviously I get to meet lots of people who are doing really well and get to learn from them, but also I'm posting the whole thing on social media and like it makes me cry. So yeah. Yeah, I took longs, but got stopped in profit on them. Like, I would still be in the trade right now if I hadn't got stopped in profit. So even if it hits TP, I'm not that mad, because I actually would have been in this trade for 3 hours. So, yeah. Did you buy a course? I didn't buy a course, no. How many prop firm accounts have you blown before getting your first payout? Honestly, not that many. I'm quite slow with prop firm accounts. I kind of take a different approach to it than a lot of people do when they're first starting out. Like I passed my first funded account on the second eval that I ever had. First one I blew, and then the second one I spent 4 months on it, just going back and forth, risking super light, and then I finally passed it. After 4 months of trading it. So yeah, and then I got funded. I blew that funded account, but I actually blew that on purpose, which I know you're not going to believe me, but I genuinely did blow that account on purpose. So basically, because I'd spent so long on the evaluation phase and that was my only funded account, I was like too attached to the idea of having that funded account, and like because I'd been posting the whole process on social media as well, like I didn't want to be not funded, because then people would like my haters would like get the best of me, you know what I mean? So like I grew like an attachment to a fucking funded account, and I just wouldn't risk a lot on it. So I just ended up forcing myself to blow the account on purpose, because you cannot have an emotional attachment to a funded account. Prop firm accounts are meant to be there to be rinsed and repeated and no in between. Obviously, if you can keep the account, it's great, but I should not have any sort of attachment to that. So I blew that on purpose, and it's such a funny story. Like if you follow me on social media, you will have seen it, but I took a trade to like purposefully blow the account, and then I was $50 away from blowing the account because I'd closed it too early. So I was at the airport in the US. I was at Atlanta airport, which is not a nice airport. I did not enjoy that airport whatsoever. And I was at Atlanta airport, and I just put on 1 micro longs, and I had $50 left on this account, by the way. So you know, I literally had a 10-point stop loss on that trade, a technical stop loss before my account would have been blown. And I ended up hitting a 30R trade just like by chance because I clicked long at the right time and it didn't even go 10 points into drawdown. And I ended up hitting a 30R trade. But obviously with one micro for 30R, it was like 300 points or something mental. You know, on a 150k account, which is $50 away from being blown, it's like nowhere near being recovered anyway. So I just thought, oh, I'm not doing this. Let's just blow it. So yeah. Yeah, the PA has been so gross. So gross. I'm tempted to come back at like lunch session or even New York PM. I'm actually in a trade on Euro USD. What trade are you in on Euro USD? I did actually look at Euro USD this morning because I was basically in, why did I do that? I was in my local coffee shop and someone recognized me, which is so weird. Okay, his longs would have played out. So basically someone recognized me off social media in my local coffee shop, which was so weird. And I was like so overly gassed about it. And he's actually a trader. And I see him in there I've seen him in there twice now. And he's a trader and I think he like has people invest with him to trade. I can't remember what that is called. It's lots of technical terms I don't really understand, but yeah, like he has people investing money for him to trade. What is that called? Isn't that like actual private equity? I don't know. But yeah. So he was telling me about that and he was in Euro USD longs, so they would have played out. So even when you're trying to blow an account, you are conservative 1 micro. Well, I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna place, like, if I'm trying to blow an account, like, I'm not just gonna, like, I'm not gonna take the trade with no chance of it playing out, with absolutely 0 chance. Like, if I put 1 mini, there is actual 0 chance of that playing out. Like, I would have just placed the mini and, like, automatically been fucked, you know? So yeah. Okay, those equal highs have finally been swept on NQ. Not that that changes anything here, to be honest. Okay, 1 minute before the open now. I'm hoping for a dump and then reversal higher DBH. Yeah, exactly. Even if you're trying to blow an account, there's no point trying to blow it with absolutely no chance of it doing well, you know? Like, I paid for that shit. Like, yeah, I want to blow it, but I'm also going to give it a singular chance to recover, which I did, but even then, it didn't really matter. But then on that next trade that I took, after I took the 30R trade or whatever it was, I traded that with like 5 micros, but it just happened to lose, so yeah. Let's see if it's true or rubbish. you ever felt unlucky? And if so, how did you fix that mindset? I don't really believe in unlucky or lucky. I think good things happen to people with a good mindset and bad things happen to people with a bad mindset. And like, you can only prove that to yourself by having a good mindset and seeing how things go. Genuinely. Like, if you have a positive outlook on things, so many more good things will happen to you, literally. Like, I don't know any one of my friends, like out of my friendship group, I have quite a big friendship group. The more successful people in that friendship group have a positive outlook on life. And the ones who are negative and constantly like blame like shit on like stupid excuses, they're always the ones doing the worst out of all of us. And that's just like a 20 people set who have all been to the same school, all been brought up in the same area. People who are more successful and more positive and don't just blame shit on random excuses. But you have to try it for yourself. You have to have a positive outlook on things. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop blaming things on random shit and actually like say, okay, this had to happen. Like, I've learned something from this. I'll move on. I know I can do it. Like, believing in yourself, being confident, having a positive mindset, see how your life changes. And if it doesn't change, then you can go back to your poor mindset. But if it does change, then, well, you're welcome, I guess. I could give you so many examples. Okay, so I have so many examples of this. Like, I could talk about this all freaking day. So literally what I was saying before about my first payout, right? So I didn't start learning fibs until the start of February this year. And the reason for that is because the guy who was teaching me fibs, Ivan, I met him in Miami when I went to Miami in February. So I've not been trading fibs for very long at all. And I've already had my first payout, right? So I journal literally every single day. I have journaled and like been into manifestation since I was like 14. So if you don't believe in this stuff, then, you know, just, I don't know, put me on mute for a few minutes. But so I will like manifest the things that I want in my journal, like alongside other things. And one of the things that I said in my journal was, I want my first payout, but I don't want my first payout until the timing is right. I know that I will have my first payout when the timing is right and everything is aligned. And I didn't get my first prop firm payout until after I had learned fibs, right? And I'm convinced that if I had had my first payout before learning fibs, based on some other strategy, when meeting Ivan in Miami, I would have been too stubborn to hear him out and like actually look into fibs, because I would have been like, well, I've had one payout and it seems to be working. So I'm convinced about that. So I know that the timing had to be right there. But if you start framing things in your mind, like if you start saying, I know I will get my first payout, I know that I will achieve this, I know that I will do this, even just saying it, it convinces your subconscious to believe it. Like, you have to believe in yourself to achieve anything, right? So you have to just start by saying it, writing it down. You might not believe it to start with, but it's a good start. Never put timelines on things to happen that you want to happen. Never ever put timelines on things to happen. You have to flip that mindset. Like, if anything bad happens to me, I know that that bad thing has happened to me because it's teaching me a lesson that I had to learn to get to my long-term goals anyway, you know? This is rejecting off to negative 2.5 really nicely right now. Let's see this manipulation. We have SMT. right now. NQ is suddenly looking a lot stronger than ES, which is weird. We have SMT at this low. I don't like the fact that we've left these relative equal lows there. It would have been nice if those were swapped out, to be honest. Nobody is lucky or unlucky. You're not born into this life with luck. It's whoever actually believes. Like, if you think about any successful, like any hyper successful person is a bit fucking weird. Like, literally every single hyper successful person that I have ever come across, even on social media, like they're a bit weird, they're a bit odd. And the reason why they're a bit odd is because they know that they like have to be different and they have to have a different mindset from everyone else if they want to succeed. Like, you've got the same mindset as that fucking annoying girl from your lesson who all she does is whine and complain and blames every single bad thing that happens on any other excuse but the fact that she might just have a negative mindset. Then like, she never does well. Like, that bitch never does well. I'm gonna give you the maddest example of this now, of how believing in yourself will bring you what you desire, genuinely, but you have to believe it. And you have to have trust in yourself to do that, right? So, in the UK, we have things called degree apprenticeships, which are basically full-time jobs, but you do your degree alongside working a full-time job. So you get full-time salary, full-time employment, but you're also doing your degree alongside that, but the company will pay for your degree. So you have no university debt, you're gaining work experience and you're gaining money. So it's a pretty good scheme, which is why I really wanted to go into that with engineering. I didn't initially want to go to university for engineering. I wanted to do that instead so that I could get work experience, I could get ahead of everybody who's at university, and like climb the corporate ladder way faster, basically. So I had applied for this chemical engineering position at AstraZeneca, which is like a really huge pharmaceutical company in the UK. They're like one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the UK, if not the biggest. So I applied there. I got through to the very last stages. They were picking between me and another person. They like delayed the whole like review process because they really couldn't pick between us. They were really torn. Ended up going with her. So I was then forced to go to university. I got to university, hated university, ended up dropping out of university, after applying for more degree apprenticeships and getting another degree apprenticeship. So even though I was sad that I didn't get my first degree apprenticeship and I had written down, I'm gonna get it, all that jazz, even though I was sad, I still ended up getting that degree apprenticeship. It was just a year later when the timing was aligned, right? So I get that degree apprenticeship in March, but I don't start till September. So I drop out of uni and I've got from March till September to do whatever the fuck I want. And what do I do in that time? I'm watching ICT YouTube videos. I'm watching so many ICT YouTube videos. This timing was like the predominant amount of, was like the primary time where I was like learning shit because I had so much time. And I also had my own tutoring business in this time, so I got business knowledge as well. And I'm like currently launching my own business, so I've like gained business knowledge from that situation as well. And I also learned trading, and here I fucking am sitting on YouTube live streaming trading, which never would have happened if I had initially got that degree apprenticeship, because I wouldn't have had the time to learn it. NQ and ES are so uncorrelated right now that I'm a little confused, to be honest. I don't know why I have alerts there. I think that was from before. I have a 2.5. marked out? Yeah, I did. Interesting. This will help. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. You're welcome. Okay, that's that -4. So I'll wait for the rejection off there. I think this -4 could play out to take ES to this -4, and then we will start ripping higher, I'm hoping. That's my idea. If we can break above this high, I would probably look for some sort of longs. I don't trade on a personal account right now. I plan to in the future, but I'm just trying to get some prop firm payouts and not risk my own capital until I'm more confident, to be honest. They're just so uncorrelated right now that I'm not too happy with the idea of taking an entry. How do you plan your day as a trader, daily routine? I would highly recommend one of these. I'm not affiliated, I promise. They're just really sick. It's Grace Beverly's planner, and basically inside here, this is like my lifesaver on how I organize everything. So you have a schedule, you have quick ticks, you have tasks, and you have projects. So your schedule is obviously just like the times, so you can put in any meetings you have, any non-negotiable things that have to be at a certain time. Your quick ticks are things that take less than 5 minutes. Tasks are things that take around half an hour. And projects are things that take over an hour. So this really helps you understand what you can actually fit into your day. So I will usually do like an hour of quick tick tasks. So I'll like block out an hour for quick tick tasks, so I can probably complete like 30 quick tick tasks in an hour, right? But then if I have like 5 projects to do, I probably need to spread those out over a few days because these are all over an hour. So it's like breaking down how long do things actually take and determining that, because one thing that I was really bad at is expecting way too much of myself in one day. Like I would write a 1 million point long to-do list and then feel like shit if I didn't complete it, and I would just overestimate how much I could complete in one day. So then you just get overwhelmed and you end up procrastinating. So I highly recommend organizing your tasks like that. So I write all of my tasks out into there, and then I plan my whole day out in Notion Calendar. Highly recommend Notion Calendar, it's completely free. I really don't like this price action, I'm not gonna lie. I'm tempted to hop off the charts for today. I think that's probably best. Guys, just to note, if you are not in the Discord, make sure to join. The link is on screen, it's completely free. We have a Doctor of Psychology coming in today to do a talk, so if you're struggling with trading psychology, feel free to come and join for that. It's going to be at 11 AM EST, so in just over an hour. He's going to be doing a talk. You can ask any questions. It's going to be super informative. He's had 17,000 patients and specializes in trader psychology, so that'll be super cool. I'm going to be back tomorrow at the exact same time at 7:30 AM EST. I'll be back live trading. I'm also giving away 5 Alpha Futures evals tomorrow, so make sure you are here for the giveaway. That will be on stream tomorrow. If you want to claim extra entries into my giveaway before I announce the winner, Make sure to use my discount code at any of the places on screen. So TradeSync, TradeZella, FX Replay, or Alpha Futures. Alpha Futures currently have 25% off their new premium plan, which is my favorite plan they've ever brought out, to be honest. And I plan to trade that for the future. So if you do decide to buy anything with my discount code, make sure to join the Discord, open a ticket, and you can claim extra entries into my giveaway, which I'm announcing tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys there for the giveaway. And I will see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. EST or on the 11 a.m. Discord call with the Doctor of Psychology. Thank you guys so much for being here and joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow.